Hello, thank you for being in a new video. This time I have with you the VIVO V30 SE. Let's get started. At the time of recording this video, I do not have its launch price, but I can advance you that this device has a launch for Colombia and Peru, this within the Latin America section. That is, it is not being launched in Mexico, and it will surely also be launched in other countries in Asia and other continents. So, let's know what Vivo is going to propose us, in case you have the price appears on your screen, but at least for the moment I do not have it. When we do a video review, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. For now, join me in getting it out of its box. And the first thing we encounter is the handset. For starters, let's take a look at the points that the manufacturer wants to highlight. It comes with 8 GB of RAM, with another 8 virtual, which in the review we'll see if they actually work. In addition to that, it has 256 GB of storage, something that is definitely very positive. It also comes with a 120 Hz AMOLED display. I think that's another very noteworthy point. The processor here only tells us that it's a 4nm Snapdragon. Although on the back of the box it clarifies that it is the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2. That is a processor aimed at the mid-low range. So I think the power will not be its strongest point, but the rest of the features look very attractive. It also has triple 50 megapixel camera, although you know that in this case only the main camera is 50 megapixels. I don't like it when they put these kinds of phrases. Let's get these stickers off. I love the back cover. It has a design with a faux leather finish. Even on the edges it seems to have a simulation of stitching, and to the touch it is very soft. Also in the hand you can feel this texture. So it's definitely a very nice design. Even the contour of the camera module is polished to give a little bit more reflections. I think it's a very nice looking device. Notice also the frames come with a lot of reflection. Vivo always tends to give very nice devices at the design level, and I think this one is no exception. Let me turn it on while we see what else comes in the box. We also find ourselves with a completely transparent and completely flexible silicone case. With semi-rigid edges, I think it gives a good level of protection, although personally I wouldn't put a case on this device because of how nice it feels in the hand. Obviously by putting this case on you gain more protection, but you lose this nice touch of design. So it feels much simpler this way. And something curious is that it includes a cover for the USB port. Personally, I don't really like it because sometimes I feel like it gets in the way. But it can also protect a little bit more from dust. It's up to you as a user if you want to use this cover or not. But the positive thing is that it comes included in the box and you don't have to buy it separately. In the box also comes the quick information guide, the usual paperwork. It comes with a 44 watts flash charge charger that we have already seen in other Vivo devices. Interestingly, in this case, it does not come with a cable in the box. But this is a unit that was sent to me for review, so I assume that the commercial version will come with a USB cable. It would be very strange if it came with a charger but no cable. So I am anticipating that this is simply an absence of this unit for review. We will also find this tool to remove the SIM tray. And that's all the contents of the box, so I'm going to put that away and we'll come back with the cell phone and take a deeper look at it. I've already got this device set up, so let's take a look at the specs. It weighs 185.5 grams and is only 7.79 millimeters thick. It is a super slim and very light device to give an even more attractive touch to the design. The back cover of the purple version is made of synthetic leather, very pleasant to the touch. It is IP54 certified, so it stands up well to water splashes. Even if it does get dropped in water, if it's not at very deep levels, I think it has a very high chance of surviving very well. The screen is AMOLED with 6.67 inches in its diagonal and full HD plus resolution. It also has 120 Hz in its refresh rate. Although in the settings it does have this smart switching option to not consume so much energy. So it is a screen that we could say that it is of very good quality. It also has stereo sound with the main speaker at the bottom and the secondary in the earpiece area for calls. It is a good thing that it has stereo sound, as there are many devices in the lower mid-range that do not integrate it. The front camera is 16 megapixels with f-aperture 2.0 and fixed focus. As first impressions, I took a screenshot before capturing the picture, so you notice how the background looks completely burned, but after taking the picture makes a very good processing of lights and shadows, also has a good level of detail, so it is a good quality front camera. Vivo generally stands out for integrating good quality in cameras, especially because it focuses a lot on portraits. And on the back we find the 8 megapixel ultra wide camera with f2.2 aperture and fixed focus, then the 50 megapixel main camera with f1.8 aperture and autofocus, and finally we have the 2 megapixel macro camera. As usual here I have some sample pictures. This is the ultra wide camera and I think it has a good quality in the pictures. I like that it has an ultra-wide camera because at the moment other manufacturers are forgetting about the ultra-wide camera and only give a good camera and the other two for marketing, but in this case at least it does have an ultra-wide camera and I like that. Now you are looking at a picture with the main camera and it also looks good quality. This is the 2x zoom picture. Obviously it's digital zoom and I still find it retains a good level of detail. The maximum zoom is 10x and it denotes that it is digital zoom, but I like that it does get to take advantage of the information from the 50 megapixel sensor, so I'm not disappointed at all. But note, this is the result that the macro camera is able to give us, which is not a bad result, but I think the main camera manages to give us better lighting and better level of detail in this type of close-up photography, so the macro camera doesn't seem very useful to me. It just seems to have a more even focus. Notice that the table didn't come out in focus in this picture from the main camera, whereas with the macro camera it does come out much more evenly focused, shall we say. But I would still prefer to use the main camera with 2x zoom for this type of macro photography. And finally, despite not having a depth camera, it manages to detect well the foreground and background to apply this blur effect. I think the result is completely positive in portraits. In fact, remember that Vivo is one of the manufacturers that offers more options regarding facial beauty or other additional portrait effects, filters, different lighting effects, so it brings a whole suite of options for this section of photography. Both in the front and rear camera we will find full HD as maximum video recording quality, something that does not come to surprise us but complies as a mid-range device. The battery is 5000 milliamps, supporting 44 watts load. I think that also in this sense comes to meet a good quality within what we could expect. It comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and the manufacturer adds another 8 virtual gigabytes, although you cannot disable them. It also has 256 gigabytes of storage, so you can store a lot of pictures, a lot of games, and much more, so it has very good capacity, so you don't have to be deleting files all the time. Lastly, the processor is the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2, a processor that I personally haven't tested, so it will be very interesting to see how well it performs. For now, we are going to run a benchmark test to see more or less what the power would be, although today is a hotter day than usual, so that could influence the result. Anyway, in the video review, I'm going to show you more tests of opening apps, video editing, gaming, and more so we can see the overall performance. For now, it's just a quick look. And ready, here we have the results: 920 on single core and 1993 on multi-core, showing that it's not an ultra powerful processor, but I think for the vast majority of users it will be a pretty decent performance. For now it has been a first look, but remember that soon we will have available the full review where we will have a very deep analysis. I hope you liked this video. If you did, you can let us know, and we'll see you next time.